actually, there are three things that I would say come into independence in marketing. The first, and I think most important, is the ability to put your consumer or your customer first, to actually go out, interact with them, understand using consumer insights about their life. What are the gaps? And where, for example, a brand or a product, not necessarily yours, but could fit in. And that, I think, is the essence of true marketing, to understand consumer gaps, consumer needs, and then see if there's a role for your brand and product to play. So that's the first. The second is, I think, is the ability to develop initiatives or campaigns that are relevant for your market. Because it has to be, we all work in global companies, but every market is different. And I think the ability to do that. And I'll give you a small example of something we've done here. As you know, post the pandemic, a lot of behavior in spending has gone digital. We're into cashless payments now. And one of the things that we realized as Brand Visa when we were speaking to consumers and customers is that while a lot of people have gone digital and cashless, there's a lot of concern over security and safety of payments in the digital space. And using that, we then said, okay, that's an area where the brand actually has a strong reason to believe, because there's a lot that we do to provide safety in terms of tokenization, loss liability, and therefore then we built the whole campaign of Pay Safe with Visa. But literally going to the customer, understanding what was relevant in our market in India, what was the insight that they want to move to consumer to cashless payments, but there was that concern. So that was a second. And I think the third is really in the ability to be agile, for a brand to have agility. And, when there's a change in the market, traditionally, we would take 3 months, in 20 years ago, to develop a full campaign, to come out with it. But today, with social and digital being the prime way people are taking data or looking at content, there's a need to respond almost immediately. And I think it's very, very important for a brand and a marketer and the marketing team of any company to be able to be that agile and that flexible. Always encourage the team to constantly be in touch with consumers and customers, leading back to understanding, their lives and, what needs and where the brand fits. So I think that's one. Second is, I truly believe in empowerment. So it's never a top down. It is more bottom up, or working together. Actually, each one of us rolling up our sleeves, but allowing the team and independent members to think out of the box. And I think that is what, really builds independence in marketing thinking. You try something new. So to allow them to be empowered and to be able to think out of the box. And the third, like I said earlier, is, marketing is both strategy, system, as well as creativity. So we don't work in isolation, right? We all have our agency partners, and they're the people who really have the creative lens. So to work closely with your agency partner and incorporate the creative ideas that they have within the structure of your brand and your marketing to bring creative ideas to life. In this day and age of companies being matrix, always we're looking at cross-function. I think that, marketing is independent, but also has a very strong role to play with other functions. Finally, every business has a business goal, and marketing has to ladder up to that. But if I were to look at marketing as an independent function, I would say the strengths are, number one, like I said, which for me is the key, is to always put the consumer first. And when you're a consumer customer, depending on your segment, but when you're an independent function, that's one of the strengths. The second is there is a lot of room for creativity and, seeing situations and, targeting your solutions that way. And the third, of course, like I said, with social digital media, with change happening at the speed it does, it allows us to be very quick in terms of our response times and to be more agile. I wouldn't call it a weakness, because I think marketing does stand for independence a lot, but I think that no function is an island, right? As I said, we all have to work together. So I think the only risk is that if there's too much independence that doesn't ladder up to the larger business goals, then, you might find what output comes out doesn't actually build back to the business. So, finally, there are business goals to be reached. The opportunity, like I said, as we are getting more and more with different media channels. There used to be, one or two big channels, and there was a spray and pray attitude that, you would do one creative, one idea, and that would, have resound with everybody. I think the opportunity is, as our media landscape is getting more and more and more complex, there is having independence in marketing allows you to think of different solutions for different media, for different occasion, and I think that's really, really good. And as a threat, I wouldn't call it a threat, but I'm just saying that if we're not independent enough, or there's too much independence, then you may miss out some of the developing things in the economy. And I'd like to give a small example of how it's so important to be agile. So, as you know, with the pandemic, a lot of events came to a standstill, and one of that was one of the biggest sporting events in the world, which is the Olympics. And it was supposed to be in 2020, then it moved to 2021, and then for the first time ever, it was an event with no audience. And we know how, for sports people, it's very important to have cheering squad, to have everything. And that was the first year, actually, in India, we had signed on a team visa athlete, because we're the global sponsors of the Olympics, and we'd got on PV Sindhu. And there was like, oh no, it's happening now, it's not happening, then it's happening later, but no audience. And because of this whole agility and quick thinking, within a week we actually came up saying that, okay, we can't be there with her, let's be there with her virtually. So we came up with this campaign to ask Indians, because they really support the Indian team, to launch, to come together to provide 1 million cheers for Sindhu. And that all happened because changing landscape, the ability to put the customer first, and to think on our feet. So I think most strengths, definitely, and lots of opportunities, but always to remember that finally there is a structure that we ladder up to.